Aloha, good morning or good afternoon in Hawaii, and ni hao to our friends in Taipei. My name is Rob Hack. I'm from the Hawaii Pacific Export Council, HPEC, and we are one of 61 district export councils in the United States. We're a nonprofit that's dedicated to helping Hawaii and Pacific Island companies export their products. And to be clear, an export is to a foreign country. An export is not to California. It's not even to Guam or the Northern Mariana Islands. It is to a wholly foreign country like Taiwan or Germany or Brazil or what have you. Now that we've made that clear, let's thank DBET and the Small Business Administration, SBA in Washington, for the grant that allows us to put on these seminars for our Hawaii companies, as well as perform one-on-one company mentoring sessions for our exporters and would-be exporters. So with that, I'd like to introduce Jamie Lum from DBET, who manages the HiSTEP grant. HiSTEP is the Hawaii State Trade Expansion Program, which, as I said earlier, is thankfully given to Hawaii from SBA in Washington, D.C. So, Jamie, please.
Thank you, Mahalo Rob. Aloha, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I do have some slides to share with you. Let me. So again, I'm Jamie Lum. I'm with the Department of Business, Economic Development, and Tourism with the state of Hawaii. And I just want to give a brief background about our Hawaii State Trade Expansion Program, or what we call HiSTEP. There we go. So I think Rob has already mentioned the HiSTEP program is funded primarily through a grant that we received from the Small Business Administration. And the purpose of the program is to help our small businesses in Hawaii to help our Hawaii-made products and services be exported around the world. And again, as Rob indicated, we're talking about outside of the U.S. The program is open to companies that are new to export, never exported before, or and all the way through or to companies that are already exporting but looking to somehow expand in some way. So we do work with many partner organizations, and so HPEC, Hawaii Pacific Export Council, being one of them. So thank you to Rob and to Dave Erdman, their chair, and to folks there that helped to put on these webinars. And we also work with the small business development centers and the Veterans Business Outreach Centers and the Women's Business Center, which is known as the MINC Center. As well as some of our state agencies like Innovate Hawaii, which is our local MEP network partner, and our Department of Agriculture and Trade Zone. So, and of course, our U.S. Commercial Service person here, John Holman. So all of us together really have worked to create this exporting ecosystem for our companies that are interested in getting into exporting. So basically, what we're looking for with our STEP program is to, of course, expand the dollar value of goods and services that are being sold from Hawaii around the world. And then we are looking to try to increase the number of companies that are exporting. And then lastly, we would like to see more markets around the world penetrated with our Hawaii-made goods and services. So that's the metrics that we're looking to achieve. In order to be eligible for HiSTEP, you have to be a small business. So you must meet the SBA size requirements. You have to be in business for at least a year. You have to, and one of the main things is that you are required to have a product or a service that is at least 51% US made. For our HiSTEP program, we are looking to give preference to companies that meet that same standard as a Hawaii-made product or service. Then there are some other requirements, including that you need to be registered here in the state of Hawaii with our Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs, and of course, with our Department of Taxation. So that's kind of the minimum requirements for companies that want to participate. And then I've broken down, really, we have 3 program components, what we call our export readiness, of which this session is part of that. We offer a series of training sessions, and again, we partner with HPEC and with Rob to put these on. And these are intended to give companies information about different export topics, such as export financing, or maybe sort of the legal aspects of doing business internationally, e-commerce and digital marketing. Those types of those are just some examples of topics we've done in the past. And then we also do sessions such as the one today, where we talk about specific markets. In this case, exporting to Taiwan. We've done Australia, or actually, we had one scheduled. We need to reschedule with the Australian, New Zealand folks with commercial service. And we've done Japan, we've done South Korea, we've done Canada. So again, this is a way for companies to get information about, especially for those that are new to exporting, what kinds of things that they need to expect, what kinds of things they need to know in order to get into exporting. And then also part of the export readiness is one-on-one business advising. So I mentioned our partners at the beginning of when I first started out. So when companies register for HiSTEP, then the first thing we do is we partner them with one of the organizations that we work closely with for a one-on-one business advising session. So again, that person can help assess a little bit more where they're at in their export journey. If they're new, if they're already exporting, are there particular issues that they're facing, and maybe try to help them look for, help guide them to possible solutions, or facilitate whatever the issue is with some organization that may be able to help them. Our second component is what we call our market entry and expansion activities, and these would include activities such as trade shows, consumer shows, and then we've also been exploring some e-commerce platforms for our companies. What we try to do, we try to make it affordable. In case of trade shows, is we will go into a trade show and we'll purchase the space and set up a Hawaii pavilion, and then we recruit companies to be part of that pavilion. This is a way to allow companies to be able to attend these large trade shows, but do it at an affordable price, and also be under the Hawaii brand. And that's also a very powerful way for them to promote themselves at these trade shows. So that's just an example of that. And then lastly, our company assistance. Companies can actually apply to receive financial assistance to help support activities in their export plan, and they do need to submit an export plan to us along with their application. This is a competitive process, and we normally and the slides I'm showing right now are just brief overview. What Rob will be sending to all of you will have a little bit more detail, but the company assistance funds can be used to pay for things such as travel or airfare, trade shows. It can be used for, say, some of the U.S. commercial service programs such as the Gold Key, et cetera, can help to support those kinds of things. So, so that's really the final component of our program. If you're interested, you can go to our website, which is invest.hawaii.gov, under the exporting tab, and click on the registration, and that would be where you would start. This just kind of shows you companies that are interested would register. There's no cost to do that. It also doesn't obligate you in any way to participate in any of the activities. It's merely an indication to us that you're interested in exporting, and maybe you're just exploring it, and gives us a little bit information about your company and where you're at in your export journey and what markets you may be interested in, and that will help when we assign you to one of the partner organizations. So I'll leave it at that. Again, the slides that Rob sends out will have a little bit more information, fill in some of the details on those components that I mentioned. And of course, here's my email, and that will also be in the slides. And anyone has any questions, you can ask them or feel free to email me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jamie. And could you say a few words about Alex?
Yes, thank you. So I'm pleased that we have Alex Lay, who is the executive director of our State of Hawaii office in Taipei. Alex has worked with some of the companies that have participated in the HiSTEP program, but he really does much more beyond just HiSTEP. And so I'll let Alex talk about that. So go ahead.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Rob, for organizing this wonderful Zoom meeting. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Alex Lay. I'm the Executive Director for State of Hawaii office in Taipei. And this office is under DBET, established about 20-some years ago. Primarily, our job objective is to help Hawaii company to do export. So export assistance is on top of our list. Also, investment attraction, education attractions, and we do a lot, some cultural exchanges, and also maintain a good working relationship with Hawaii state and Taiwan governments and county government for the sister state and sister county relationship. DBET office in Taipei, along with DBET, we can help Hawaii company for a number of things. In Taipei particularly, we can help you to do some market research for your business, to identify potential buyers, distributors, or marketer or partners for your product and services. And if you ever come to Taiwan, we can also help you to make appointment. I myself and my staff would be more than happy to go to the meeting with you, help you to expand your network in Taiwan. And we're also working very closely with AIT Commercial Section and ATO, Agricultural Trade Office. Thanks to AIT, and they've been giving us a great helps. In fact, last month, July, we just concluded coffee promotion, a joint promotion between Hawaii Coffee Company and AIT and State of Hawaii office in Taipei. We select one of the coffee shop in Neihu and are providing three weeks coffee promotion, and also in combining with a cultural activity. So we have hula performers there. We have music performers. It is really a Hawaii theme as a whole. So I would like to thank AIT for their great support. Last but not least, Taiwan is a great place to do business. And I would suggest for you to look at Taiwan, not only Taiwan, but also Asia Pacific, because Taiwan company They are top 3 investor and operator in Southeast Asia, like Vietnam, Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, you name it. So Taiwan company already established good operation, good marketing network in Southeast Asia country as well, of course, in China as well. We will be more than happy to introduce you to networking and partner with Taiwan company for Taiwan market and also Southeast Asia Pacific country. Thank you all. And if we can provide any assistance, please let Jamie Debet, also Taipei office. We are here for your service. Thank you. Mahalo.
Thank you, Alex. I'd like to echo what Alex said. I lived in Taiwan for several years, in Taipei and Hsinchu, and it's a wonderful place with wonderful people. It's an easy place to do business. Everybody's very open, and it's just a very straightforward place to transact whatever you're trying to sell. And I strongly recommend you look into the Taiwan market. So with that, let's introduce our primary speakers today from AIT, and they can explain better than I can what is AIT. But that's Jeff Dutton. He's a commercial service officer with the U.S. Commercial Service. And Kathy Yao is from the Agricultural Trade Office, which is actually under state. So please, Jeff and Kathy.
Yeah, I think I'll start. Thank you so much, Rob. AIT is complicated. I actually sort of fall under commerce, but I'm paid by state when I'm here. And Kathy, I think, falls under agriculture. I'm not sure if you're paid by, probably are paid by agriculture. Yeah, that's good. So we do this jujitsu, I would call it, around the fact that we're not our U.S. embassy here, but if you come in and visit with us at AIT, you'll see the State Department's seal, and it looks and feels and smells like a U.S. embassy, despite the fact that we don't have official relations, and we are the American Institute in Taiwan, which is a nonprofit organization. Let me start out with my bottom line up front. I work for the Commercial Service, and so does John Holman, my colleague in Honolulu. I've met John. I was there during the APEC USA host year in 2011, so I've known him for a long time. Would be very happy for any of you who are speaking with him about your non-agricultural products or services. That's where the commercial section focuses, and Kathy will talk about more the agricultural and food products, food and beverages that they concentrate on. So if you have a non-agricultural product, industrial good, a service, a consumer good, I'm your guy that you can reach out to either directly or through John or through Alex here in Taipei. As he said, we work closely with Hawaii and with the 22 or so other U.S. states that have a presence in Taiwan, and some of them use their presence here to reach all of Asia. We are focused not only on export promotion, but also on what we call commercial diplomacy. So if you are selling in the market and problems arise with regulations, with authorization to do business with the ministries, we can get involved and intervene on behalf of U.S. companies. We also do trade advocacy work through our Trade Advocacy Center. So if you're a company that is bidding on a government procurement in Taiwan, we will, you can apply for official U.S. government advocacy and get some high-level support to the Taiwan ministries or agencies that are making the purchase. And it's very effective. We also offer the standard commercial service thing. So let me go ahead and go through this. That's a picture of AIT, the building where we're sitting now, sort of up on a hill in the northeast neighborhood of Nehu, which Alex mentioned earlier was where the coffee promotion was. And I want to go maybe Alex can take me to the coffee shop, that if they have any Hawaiian coffee beans or roasted beans left, that would be right up my alley. And then just like I said, a little bit about the history. So since 1979, the US has recognized China, not Taiwan, so the People's Republic of China, as our official partner, or not really our partner, the official relationship. Taiwan is very much a partner, but the diplomatic recognition at China's insistence is only on the People's Republic of China. So even when we travel here, we have to travel on our personal passports, not on our diplomatic passports. So it's a unique place. That's a picture of our outgoing AIT director, Sandra Alkirk, meeting with the outgoing president of Taiwan, Tsai Ing-wen, probably back in 2021. Let's move forward on our objectives. I'm not going to go into that too much. And then the U.S. Commercial Service, we already touched on that. Want to talk a little bit about CS Taiwan's core services, because in terms of export counseling, Alex mentioned several things that we also do, but we can also sometimes bring the weight of AIT and the U.S. government to some of the meetings if you need that. For the specific services we offer, we have market intelligence pieces at trade.gov that you may want to check out. It's pretty easy to find at trade.gov. We offer an individual company profile report on specific agents or distributors that you might be communicating with, to sort of verify whether verify their bona fides, and do some background checks. We also can do an initial market check. It's an official commercial services, and I believe these are probably reimbursable under the HiSTEP program that Jamie was describing, because there is a fee involved, unlike with Kathy's section that she's going to describe next. We do have to charge a fee to recover the cost of providing these services.
Sorry, Jeff. This is Rob. Just a quick
yeah, Rob, please go ahead.
Interruption. Good. That the gold key service you're referring to can actually be charged back to the HiSTEP program. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just wanted to let the audience know that.
Yeah. They're actually, in addition to the gold key service, which is sort of our marquee service that everyone knows about. That's where we set up between 3 and 5 meetings and accompany the U.S. exporter to the meetings and do whatever else is necessary. That can be, it can be fairly expensive. Maybe $1,900 to $3,600, depending on how many meetings and sort of what kind of service is involved. So that would be a good benefit to be reimbursed for that. And then we also have a single company promotion service that probably is also reimbursable. So thanks for mentioning that. The gold key service is something we're happy to talk with companies about. Next slide. There's our nationwide network, including in Hawaii. There are just a couple of states where there's not an office, including Wyoming. I think Wyoming.
Sorry to interrupt again, Jeff, but we're not seeing the slides change.
You're not.
We're still on the Taipei 101 header slide.
Maybe we're not sharing. Maybe it's not sharing.
So we can see the slide, just not a progression of the slide.
I see.
Maybe it takes.
Yeah. Let's see if we can figure this out so that we're on the same page.
Is it working?
If we're not on the same page, we're not singing the same notes.
Now we see our stateside counterparts.
Great. Okay. So that's where we're now. Let's test it and move forward. Uh-oh. Okay. Taiwan basics. Okay.
Yep.
Great. Move on. Just a little bit about, I'm not going to go in too much into this, but you know, Rob and Alex were talking about what a great place Taiwan is to do business, and how familiar it is to a lot of Americans. Part of that is because of the democracy here and the you know, and also it's a multicultural place. And so this just gives you some statistics on that, and the way it plays into Taiwan identity and people's perception of who they are. But, you know, 20, 30 years ago, a lot of people identified as Chinese, and there's a growing sense of kind of national identity as Taiwanese here. So, you know, people don't really refer to the mainland as much as they used to, and now it's China and Taiwan, of course, that's separate from the legal requirement for the US government to recognize one China. All right, so let's move on to the next one. There's a picture of the MRT, the subway system here in Taipei. Just to give you an idea of, you know, the outsized weight of international trade in Taiwan's economy. 23 million people, but, you know, total international trade almost $1 trillion. It's pretty staggering, and that is thanks to, in large part, Taiwan's ICT sector and the powerhouse that TSMC and UMC, NVIDIA, I mean, NVIDIA is US, but Taiwanese US, those kind of companies bring, and, you know, also the robust investment relationship. But there is a significant agricultural component, which Kathy will talk about. So let's move on. We just went past a picture of the Select USA Summit, the Taiwan delegation at the Select USA Summit from a year or two ago. This was one of the largest, for 5 of the last 6 years, Taiwan has provided the largest delegation globally of potential investors in the US. Last year, it was over 300 people from Taiwan representing 250 companies. This year, we purposefully made the Taiwan delegation smaller and made it more focused on industries that were in line with the CHIPS and Science Act and the Tech Hubs program under EDA. So some of those cutting edge commercial technologies, photonics and AI and semiconductors, et cetera. So that's just a snapshot of some of the delegates. Let's move forward. 8th largest trading partner, which is really amazing given that it's not one of the top 10 countries in the world in terms of population. Move on from there. This is a little bit more about the investment and the numbers. The stock is officially listed as a little more than 17 billion, but TSMC has promised $65 billion in investment in a semiconductor fab that is projected to open in the first quarter of 2025, to start producing semiconductors in the first quarter of 2025 in Phoenix, Arizona. So an ecosystem developing there, but all over. Global Wafers also has investments in Missouri and Texas, and hopefully we'll see some investments in Hawaii as well. So let's go through. There's some economic engagement frameworks that I'm not going to go into because we're not really that focused on policy here, but I did want to highlight that one of the policy issues that we're working with, along with our State Department colleagues in the econ section, is the challenge of double taxation. So we don't have, because of our unofficial relationship with Taiwan, the partnership instead of an official relationship, we don't have a tax treaty. And so therefore, a lot of the investments in the US face the challenge of paying both US taxes and Taiwan taxes. But we're working on it. There's bipartisan support for the idea. AmCham did a door knock in DC in June where they emphasized this, and we're hopeful that it'll be done maybe by January. And then this is what we're doing right now. Why isn't there a Hawaii picture here, or is there? No, why we should have put a Hawaii picture instead of the others, but there you go. These are some of the other states that have offices here in Taiwan, and it's a growing number because the Ministry of Foreign Affairs subsidizes the state offices.
I can tell you why you don't have a picture. It's because we don't have a highway that comes into Hawaii.
Oh, well, there you go. Thank you. That helps me. That helps get me off the hook, Rob.
Yeah,
That was a very helpful thing
we'll
that I should have thought of.
We'll find something for you from the airport.
Great.
Airport.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next one then. Maritime is a big sector, as you can see from that picture. That looks like Kaohsiung, the second largest city. Very debatable. What is the second, third, and fourth largest cities in Taiwan? It depends on how you count it. Even Taipei might not be the biggest city if you take out New Taipei. And then consumer products, that's what my colleague Christine Cho, who's here in the room with me, but not in front of the camera, operating the laptop here is concentrated on. So household disposable income, over 35,000. I mean, that's more than some US states, I think. Probably more than my home state of Arkansas. So there you go, large middle class. And you see it on the streets, you know, pets, lots of dogs and cats. Not cats on the streets, but pet dogs anyway, in carriages on a lot of the neighborhoods in Taipei. So definitely an upper middle class, an upper class that is buying more and more, you know, pet foods, pet items, pet care, things that I think would, you know, are a source of U.S. exports. And then on e-commerce channels are growing. Places like Shopee and Momo and Pichome, or is it Pichome?
Oh, PC Home.
PC Home. There you go. See, that depends on your perspective, how you pronounce it. PC Home, that sounds about right. I haven't used it obviously, but I have used Momo and Shopee. So they're big. They're not as big as like Alibaba, you know, in China, but they're very convenient channels for Taiwan consumers and great ways to reach people that are interested in things like apparel, beauty and skincare products, so cosmetics, you know, skincare products, very popular here. Baby care, definitely into high-end, hygienic, organic baby care products. Construction, that must have been nearly 15 or 20 years ago, the construction of Taipei 101, but a huge percentage even of GDP, so tens of billions of dollars spent every year on construction, and a lot of money is going into Taiwan's energy transition, and we're doing a lot of work with US energy companies in that to achieve net zero, as all of the, you know, the countries that participated in the COP27, I believe, COP26 or COP27, international discussions about climate change committed to just this past year. Travel and tourism is something that we handle in the commercial section. You know, I think one of the reasons why you may have seen a downtick in Taiwan travelers to Hawaii since the pandemic is that the Taiwanese airlines, China Airlines and Ava Air, stopped their nonstop flights to Hawaii, and we're working with them to encourage them to restart those flights. And I think they're looking for demand signals. There's a lot of competition from other places, and especially Philippines, Taiwan, Vietnam, Thailand is probably the biggest destination for Taiwan tourists that are looking for a few days getaway from Taiwan. But you know, they also have to maintain flights to places like Palau, which are their diplomatic partners for more political reasons. So that kind of also creates pressure on them, and is a discouragement for them to restart those flights. But we all of us here at AIT would love to see a nonstop to Honolulu. starting back. So we'll work on that. Education is another area that I know. I believe Alex also mentioned that is one of his focus areas, getting Taiwan students to study at Hawaii's higher education institutions. But we also do some work on encouraging Taiwan students to go to junior high and high schools. I don't have much time, so let me, there we go. That's my email, jeffrey.dutton@trade.gov. Feel free to reach out directly to me. But if you're new to exporting, definitely reach out to John Pullman first and work with him on a global export promotion plan. And he'll connect you with the right people in the right markets around the world. And with that, I'll turn it over to Kathy.
Thank you, Jeff. Aloha. My name is Kathy. I'm the Agriculture Trade Office Director, and I just arrived to Taiwan about 2 months ago. And it's really been a really exciting market because I came from London, where people have a misconception about U.S. products, especially agriculture products. Whereas this market, people love our products. So it's been really exciting to come to a market where people, think highly of our products and love to buy our products. And I would say, just as others have mentioned, that the Hawaiian products here face a very, are perceived as high-end, premium, and viewed very positively. So before I go into my market briefing, I just want to say at the very high level, I work for the Foreign Agriculture Service, which is part of the Department of Agriculture. We do everything that's export oriented. So anything that can be consumed, everything that can be grown in the ground, USDA, we cover, and we do it completely for free. So if you have any questions about exporting to this market, please reach out to our office and we'll provide contact at the end of this briefing. I'll keep this brief so we can have some time for questions at the end. Just a quick overview of the Taiwan major cities. Taipei already, the capital, but we also have Taichung in the center part of Taiwan and Kaohsiung in the south. On the eastern side of Taiwan, it's very mountainous, so you don't have a lot of large cities, and it's very hard to grow any agriculture products. Next slide, please. Demographics, just very briefly, 23 million. It's pretty even split between men and women, so you don't have really a gender difference here. That's too big of a bias. And
Kathy,
then,
sorry to interrupt you again, but we're not seeing the slides moving forward.
So,
We're still on the front slide, header slide.
okay. Just to keep talking while they're trying to fix the slides. The ports are also near the major cities. So there's the Keelung port that's near Taipei, and then Taichung, there's a major port as well. So for ag products, a lot of the agricultural products come to Taichung port, and also in the south, Kaohsiung port.
Do you see the demographics slide right now?
Yes, looks good.
Okay, great.
Let me check. Do you see the next with a chart?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Okay, so as I mentioned, the population is pretty evenly split, and then there's the majority of people between the age of 15 to 64, 70% of population, but you will see a growing trend of aging population in Taiwan. So already at 18% for people age above 65. Over the last 5 years, I would say, you can really see, a growing percentage of population that's above the age of 65. So you also see in the market, a lot of companies try to cater to that aging population. So go ahead, next slide. This is an example of a product that's trying to cater to that need. So for people that are aging, this milk claims to help have this ingredient that helps people with eyesight or health, to help them improve. And then this you can do, and then so it's shown on packaging. You see that the benefit, this ingredient, it's even bigger than the milk label itself. So just and then also in the corner, it shows this doctor approved, recommended. That is kind of what the market is demanding at the moment. Go ahead. While there's the growing number of elderly people, the birth rates is declining rapidly in the same time frame. So back in 2019, you can see there was roughly 177,000 people that were born, whereas now last year's statistics, it's fallen quite a bit to 135,000. Economy, Jeff has already mentioned, so I won't go into too much detail. It's very high considered its small population, ranked 21st in the world and 6th in Asia, and it's neighbored by a lot of very large economies: Japan, China, Vietnam. So that's the current exchange rate. It's very favorable, so the dollar is very strong. Even the time here, I've been here the 2 months, it's approaching 33 for a few days. So exports does face some challenge to this market because the currency is quite weak relative to the dollar. What does Taiwan import? So Taiwan is an island, so it imports a lot of the products that it cannot efficiently produce. US is still the largest exporting country to Taiwan, followed by Brazil. A lot of also products. Taiwan has a free trade agreement with New Zealand that's gonna come into full force next year. So New Zealand is also another supplier, but US by far is the largest agriculture supplier to Taiwan. These are some products that we export in significant quantity. So beef, as you can imagine, poultry, but also vegetables, fruits, pet food. We're very, very competitive when it comes to pet food market. As others have mentioned, they have a very strong pet food industry. There are more pets born last year than babies by far. So in terms of retail time, the wet markets are still quite dominant or still widely available, accessible. They sell a lot of fresh fruit and vegetables, meat, seafood. They don't require a lot of packaging, and it's consumed by the, I would say, middle-aged to elderly population. And then major supermarkets, there's PS Mart, which is by far the largest, has over 1,000 stores. Carrefour, the French chain, has hundreds of stores. Taiwan Fresh is a relatively local, smaller retail chain. On the high-end supermarket, Mia Sabang, which I've never heard of before I moved to Taiwan, is actually owned by Carrefour. They they only have 22 stores, but they're located in very high-end malls, usually on the basement level. If you've been to Asia, you see a lot of these high-end malls, and in the basement level, they have a very high-end supermarket that's catered to, they stock a lot of high-end imported products. So many of our products from the US tend to be, you will find them in Mia Sabang. And I just learned about its name's origin. Mia is Italian for things. Sabang is partly French.
Yes, it's a
so
weird
it's like
name.
Things are good. And then other chains that are much smaller, as you can see. So we have partnered with Mia Sabang to do some high-end promotion. So this was the USA display that we did last year, or City Super. So City Super is even higher end than Mia Sabang. It's the highest and most expensive, and the most imported products you'll find is City Super. My husband, when we first moved here, he was able to find some chips and salsa, but he was really shocked by the.
You're wasting your money.
That's and the price tags. But you can find some products that you can now find elsewhere. So, and then this was Mia Sabang. This was what we did this year. We had over 300 US products displayed in this promotion. And so if you have products that you want to be included as part of our USA kind of exhibit, and during the promotional month, you have to contact us by February. You have to make sure your products are in market by February year. We usually run the promotion in June each year. And here's some more kind of the hypermarket. So Costco is in the market. Carrefour, as I mentioned, Darunfa is a local one, and then Amart. So Costco, they do, of course, as a US company, they carry a lot of US products. They have 14 stores, and the traffic, foot traffic to Costco is very high, one of the highest in Asia, if not in the world. So definitely, if your products can get into Costco, I would strongly recommend it, and also contact us if you need any assistance.
Hey, Kathy, I just interrupt for a second and say that some of our companies in Hawaii have done really well through getting into Costco Hawaii and then using those connections to get into Costco Japan. And I don't see why our companies couldn't do the same for Costco Taiwan. So just for our attendees who are here, it's something definitely to pursue, because I have seen some good success from Costco Japan.
Yeah,
Thanks.
that's a really good point.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, not a problem. That's a really good point. I think one of the first things you see in Taiwan, if you ever visit here, is the number of 7-Elevens in Taiwan is literally at every street corner. It's got the highest concentration of 7-Elevens in the world, only after Korea, apparently. And there are thousands of stores. You do everything for your life in Costco. You can buy train tickets, you can pay your bills, you can do everything here, and it's really like so convenient. And I think people really build their lives around 7-Elevens. So if you can get your products into 7-Eleven, that's another great venue. And I'm sure it's competitive because they do very high turnovers, and but it's a great ways to get in touch with an everyday people's lives. So these are just kind of like who owns what, but I think we can quickly go over this. And then, so I want to spend a minute here. So every year USDA, we sponsor a USA Pavilion at the Food Taipei, which is the biggest food show in Taiwan. It happens annually, and then this year was June 25th through 28th, but it changes slightly every year, but it's usually in June. And it's a major food trade show. If you want to get to know the market, kind of exhibit your products, this is the show to participate in. And we also work with a lot of our partners that they will partially subsidize the booth fee, but get in touch early so we can help you plan for your participation if you're ready. And then the pet show is just after the food show. It's literally the week after the food show, and that's the biggest pet show in Taiwan. If you have pet food products that you want to exhibit, that is the show to participate in. And then this is just kind of we have 3 marketing specialists that work with me, and each covers different products. So, these are their contact information. Feel free to get in touch with them if you have any questions. Or sorry, going back one slide, who's in the room with me, she's also in charge of the food show. So any food show questions, feel free to direct those to Tila as well. We have a social media presence. We're still building on that, but we launched it a few years ago because AIT here has such a big cloud that anything we do ATO or AIT tend to get a lot of people's attention.
I really like that name, United Tastes in Taiwan. That's cute. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you. So we have a sister office here in Taipei as well. So we do the fun side. We do food promotion. We do a lot of events, tastings, everything. We have a sister office that do the hard work of working on the regulations overcoming stuck shipments. So if you have a ship stuck for whatever reason because it didn't meet Taiwan requirements or MRL, whatever the issue was, they are the ones gonna or try to assist you with overcoming those challenges. And a lot of what we do is also reporting. So I understand there are some coffee companies and cookie companies our website, which is completely free to the public. On the website, you can search by country and by product. And we have published a coffee report as well as a confectionery report. So feel free to take a look at those. And then also Taiwanese regulations, you can find all of that. We update it annually on the website. And that is it. Thank you very much.
Great, that was excellent. Thank you. I know you guys have to run soon, so if you don't mind, I'm just going to jump into some questions that have come into me. Is that okay? Kathy, you showed a couple of shows. That's excellent. There's also a coffee and tea show, isn't there? Because I know some of our companies have gone to that and thought it was interesting.
Rob, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was just going to mention that. Go ahead, Kathy.
Yes, I mean, feel free to jump in. Yes, there is a coffee show that takes place every year in November.
Okay, great. And that's in Taipei?
Yes.
Okay, great.
And Rob, I would like to add a comment. You know, the Shack and also Hawaii Coffee Association, they are participating, you know, this International Coffee and Tea Expo every year, and so does this year. So this will happening from November 15 to November 18. Shack and will also do coffee cupping event in Taipei. Also, they are importing coffee, and they can do sales and promotion at the event. So for our Hawaii company, if you're interested to export your coffee, please contact Rob at Hawaii Coffee Association. And yeah, they're coming November 15 and to November 18 this year. Thank you.
That's great. How do you guys feel about the Taiwan market for organic foods? Because some of our Hawaii farms that's an expertise in that. Is there a growing market, I guess, for for organic fruits and vegetables?
I can jump, yes, feel free others to jump in, but I think there is a growing demand for natural products. I think for purely organic products, it is growing, but it's from a very small base. And also I think people are still quite price sensitive. So depending on what type of product it is, they might not be able to or willing to purchase pay for the price tag.
Sure. And how about supplements? Because actually the supplement business is pretty big for some of our Hawaii companies. So I'm curious about that. Especially, well, you mentioned the typical the East Asian population age, how do I say, the age growth, but the population decline, right? Like Japan and Korea and Taiwan are all quite similar in that regard, that people are getting older, but there's not a lot of babies coming into the system. So some of our Hawaii companies have done well targeting that silver-haired market in Japan. And I think that why couldn't they do that in Taiwan?
There's absolutely no reason because the demographics are largely the same as in Japan. The culture here is kind of a blend of kind of American institutions and Chinese traditions and Japanese influence from when there was a colony of Japan between 1910 and 1945 or 1895 to 1945. So there's a lot of cultural influence. But the basics are the demographics. And I covered healthcare for a couple of years here when I first arrived, and this was a big issue for pharmaceuticals, medical device companies. They are increasingly seeing their sales take off in Taiwan, despite the fact that there's a national health insurance agency that closely curbs cost. They negotiate prices, but the trend is clearly there. People are spending more and more on nutritional supplements.
And just as the product I showed, a lot of it they incorporate into the food, so they believe in functional foods, and they're buying. We are seeing an uptick in functional foods as well.
Great. Those are all the questions I have, and I know we have about a minute before your side has to get to another meeting. So I'd like to wrap it up, and thank you so much. It was really great to have you here. We greatly appreciate your time and your expertise in teaching our Hawaii companies about the Taiwan market and what's available for them there. So we again appreciate that. Xie xie ni. So let's thank Jeff Dutton, Commercial Service Officer with the U.S. Commercial Service there at AIT. Kathy Yao from the Agricultural Trade Office. Behind the scenes, very helpful in setting up this meeting was Joyce and Christine. So xie to them. And Jamie Lum from DBET and Alex Lay from the Taipei office of DBET. Thank you for being here. I'd also like to thank John Holman, who you heard his name several times. I think most of our attendees know who he is, but if you don't, contact me and I'll put you in charge with him. He's your window into all of these U.S. commercial service activities around the world. So with that, again, thank you. And this is Rob Heck from the Hawaii Pacific Export Council signing off. Yes, mahalo and xie xie. Bye-bye.
Mahalo. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Mahalo.